You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Here's what's going on. Although you hear Mnuchin talking about this here, the problem is the bill is being held up. Why? Because you have Republicans who are not happy with the amount of money that's going to real people. Okay, explain that. So they're announcing a deal, but the bill has not been signed. One of the people who's been critical of this, and it's kind of stupid, is Lindsey Graham. Now, yesterday, Lindsey Graham was yelling, pass the bill, pass the bill, pass the bill. Now there's a deal. Now he's arguing, that these people, these poor people are getting, you're getting too much money. I don't quite understand what in the world he's talking about, because his whole deal is this is incentivizing people to go on unemployment. I don't know. First of all, they're not getting this money every single week. Okay, y'all listen to him trying to explain this here. It's just crazy. Watch this.
We'll know in about an hour as to whether or not this is a drafting error. I hope they're right, but I'm concerned. Let me tell you why. Under this proposal that they agreed to last night, on unemployment, you would be making $24.07 an hour in South Carolina. There are a lot of jobs in South Carolina that do not pay $24.07. This bill pays you more not to work than if you were working. Very few people are going to turn down a 24-hour deal not to work. To work for 15. If this is not a drafting error, then it's the worst idea I've seen in a long time, and that's saying a lot given the fact we're in Washington. To my Democratic colleagues, I have been one of your strongest supporters for upping unemployment insurance, but I never in my wildest dream believed that we would incentivize people to stop working, to take unemployment, by increasing unemployment wages to $24 an hour.
All right, so you listen to Lindsey Graham say there are a lot of jobs in South Carolina not paying $24 an hour. That's the damn problem, Lindsey. Republicans have been fighting increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour, a living wage. But he is now complaining that, oh my goodness, that's too much. When if you actually look at the bill, the amount of money that people are getting on the low end, it's not like this is a massive amount of money. Yet, if you look at this bill, corporations at the top, $500 billion. Hospitals, which actually has the greatest need in this whole deal, at the bottom, they're getting $130 billion. Did you hear what I just said? Corporations, $500 billion. Hospitals, $130 billion. Don't you think in a pandemic it should be reversed, where hospitals are getting more of the money right now because we have a significant problem in this country? Folks, is Congressman Gregory Meeks ready? All right, let's go to Capitol Hill. Congressman Gregory Meeks. He is, of course, on the House side. Congressman, when you listen now to what these Republicans are now saying, Lindsey Graham, Ben Sasse, and Tim Scott, the only black Republican United States senator, they literally are saying that, oh my God, this is just too much money for these people. Why will they drop their job? Is he clueless? Last I checked, they're not getting this money every single month. This is one shot, correct?
That is correct. And it doesn't make sense, as you said, Roland. Look, they're going after those that have the least. They're trying to make sure that those that have the least don't have anything. And you look in the top, there's no limit that they would want to do. We had to fight tooth and nail. They wanted $500 billion to go unchecked initially to most of the presidents and other of the Republicans' friends and big corporations, etc. We had to fight with no strings attached. And now here we have a deal, and they're going to complain about what the least of these and will receive. Those who are really suffering, those who are now out of work and who would want to go back to work if they were left to their own. And yet this is what they are focusing on and complaining. It just does not make common sense. And it shows who's really there for the average, everyday, hard-working American and who's there just for the people that's at the top. Something is fundamentally wrong with their logic. And this is what we got to put up with. So
I'm still just trying to understand the rationale. I'm trying to understand in terms of what they see as the next thing. Because if you look at this whole deal, the people who are actually at the bottom economically, they're complaining that they're only going to get about $600. Okay, versus if you're making $75,000 a year, you could get $1,200, $500 per child. Then we're capping it at $2,400. I would think the least of these might deserve more than other people. That's just me. That's just me.
All right. Well, I would agree with you. I think that everything that we're doing is tied into those who have been victimized by the corona virus issue. They have been detrimented, and the ones that have the least are the ones that don't have the food, the money to buy food now, the ones that cannot pay for their rent or their medicine, and we need to make sure that we keep them safe and provide them with the resources that they need based upon the logic of Senator Graham. Then it doesn't make any sense. And I think that's why you are having a problem, Roland, because you're trying to be logical about it. You're trying to be intelligent about it, to interpret something that is illogical, like what Lindsey Graham is saying.
And again, for everybody at home, I just want people to understand. So in this deal, this is a one-time $1,200 check. This is not over a multiple period of months. I was actually on the Twitter page of Justin Amash. He's been highly critical of this here. This is what he has said. He said that it should provide. Go to my iPad, please. Actually, 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. And so let me pull this up so you guys can actually see what he's talking about. And he said provide $1,250 per adult and $500 per child for each of the next 3 months unless the lockdowns end sooner. After the third month, Congress can renew, modify, or discontinue these payments as appropriate. So I get the $1,200, but if you've been out of work for the whole month of March, and now we're heading into April, a one-time check, it helps, but it's not like it digs you out of your predicament.
Well, that's absolutely correct. And I will tell you, Roland, one of the things that we've had a problem with, especially here in New York, that's been the epicenter of the coronavirus scenario, it doesn't take into account cost of living. So for New Yorkers, for folks in certain parts of California, which is the second state, if you look at that amount of money, it doesn't pay for many people's rent here. It doesn't pay. The cost of living is so high that money is not going to take folks very far.
In fact, I got one of my folks on Lloyd Kirkendall on YouTube says, just my thoughts, if you lost a job, you should get money. If you took a pay cut, you should get money. If you don't work, he said you should not get anything. You were not working in the first place. But that's part of the problem there, because one of the reasons what Lloyd doesn't quite understand is that there are people who also are not working because the black unemployment rate is double that of the white unemployment rate. Also, there were people who were laid off before this thing hit. And all of a sudden, they came now into a crisis. So this is part of the problem here, this whole notion that, if you don't have a job, you shouldn't get anything. Guess what? If you got laid off 3 months ago, have yet to find you a job, you still got rent. You still got a mortgage. You still might have a family. And so what do? So what, we're going to just throw folks out of their homes as well? Not all states are requiring folks to stop eviction notices. And so we still are dealing with that. I mean, what I keep saying is that what this thing is exposing, this coronavirus pandemic is exposing the true economic system and the haves and the have-nots in this country. It is exposing what happens when you have access to lobbyists and you're able to impact bills in Congress. It exposes the crazy thinking of people when it comes to what is happening economically in this nation, when you also have an administration that's moving forward on cuts to SNAP food benefits.
But let me just say this, because what you find is, and what I think really it shows, is the difference in the democratically controlled House of Representatives when you look at the bill that we initiated and that we put out, which was for families first, and did focus on trying to make sure that we took care of the release of these, as opposed to the Republican-controlled Senate, who has rejected a lot of things that we've been trying to put forward. So there's been substantial difference in the bills that were put forward that were led by the House, as opposed to the bills that was led by the Senate. And that's part of what we have, that is exposed right now. There is a fundamental difference between the two. That's one reason why I always say elections do matter, because what is blocking and what has been blocking a lot of the progressive things that we want to do on the House side has been Senator McConnell, and that's why we call things that die in the McConnell graveyard. We could go right now in depth to many of the things, and we're trying on the House side all day long. We've been trying to decipher what's in the Senate bill, and I've talked to some of the Democrats and of the Senate to try to decipher what ultimately will be in there. We have not seen the actual text of the bill yet on the House side. We hope to get that sometime later tonight so that we can go through it. But there is a fundamental difference of Democrats and Republicans, and right now of the House and the Senate, and how we're approaching this pandemic that we are under.
First, all right. Well, look. This is just again pretty outrageous what is happening. Congressman Greg Meeks of New York, we certainly appreciate it. Now, thoughts and prayers go to the folks in your city and state really being hit real hard by the coronavirus.
Thank you very much, Roland.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, so a lot of y'all are always asking me about some of the pocket squares that I wear. Now, Robert don't have one on. Nope. Now, I don't particularly like the white pocket squares. I don't like even the silk ones. And so I was reading GQ magazine a number of years ago, and I saw this guy who had this pocket square here, and it looks like a flower. This is called a shibori pocket square. This is how the Japanese manipulate the fabric to create this sort of flower effect. So I'm going to take it out and then place it in my hand so you see what it looks like. And I said, man, this is pretty cool. And so I tracked down, it took me a year to find a company that did it. And so they basically about 47 different colors. And so I love them because, again, as men, we don't have many accessories to wear, so we don't have many options. And so this is really a pretty cool pocket square. Now, what I love about this here is you saw when it's in the pocket, it gives you that flower effect like that. But if I wanted to also, unlike because if I flip it and turn it over, it actually gives me a different type of texture. And so therefore it gives me a different look. So there you go. So if you actually want to get one of these shibori pocket squares, we have them in 47 different colors. All you got to do is go to RolandSMartin.com/pocket squares. All right, so first of all, that graphic is way too small. So tomorrow we're going to run it right down here all across the screen. So it's RolandSMartin.com/pocket squares. All you got to do is go to my website and you can actually get this. Now, for those of you who are members of our Bring the Funk fan club, there's a discount for you to get our pocket squares. That's why you also got to be a part of our Bring the Funk fan club. And so that's what we want you to do. And so it's pretty cool. So if you want to jazz your look up, you can do that. In addition, y'all see me with some of the feather pocket squares. My sister, who's a designer, she actually makes these. They're all custom made. So when you also go to the website, you can also order one of the customized feather pocket squares right there at RolandSMartin.com/pocket squares. So please do so. And of course, it goes to support the show. And again, if you're a Bring the Funk fan club member, you get a discount. This is why you should join the fan club. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video. You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it.